So I'm just sitting here in the parking lot of Tavern on Clark out in Rockford. I'm just sitting here waiting on Tanner to get here. He's coming down from Wisconsin Dells back to St. Louis, so I figured I'd cut him off and we'll have dinner here tonight. We can film his interview about his harvest he had this fall. Weren't able to get it on camera, the kill at least, but we did get the recovery with the help of John Boswell, and you'll get to hear his wonderful commentary as well. So when Tanner gets here, we'll get cranking on that interview.
Well, I would have liked to have done this interview a couple months ago. Unfortunately, the circumstance that I shot my buck, I had a story to it. Josh was actually back home, who had the camera that we usually use. So I couldn't go back and tell the whole story and have an explanation to why it wasn't on film. But now we've met up here in Rockford. It's about midway point for both of us. We had some supper tonight, and then we thought we'd debrief and I'd go over the story a little bit for the camera. So we go back, let's rewind back a few months. It's late November. It's my last hunt before the end of the year. I knew I wasn't going to hit second shotgun season for Illinois. I was going to miss muzzleloader season, and I wouldn't be home until Christmas time. There's a storm coming in on that Saturday night, right after Thanksgiving, and I knew it would be good timing to get in the stand because the front's moving through. Unfortunately, when I was in the stand, I didn't see what I thought I would see. I sit all night. I get in the stand early, sit the last 3 hours. Don't see a deer all evening. Storm was rolling in. I got out about 15 minutes early because I had to hit the road to go to St. Louis, which I still had a 4-hour drive. Get out, check a couple trail cameras, and I'm walking back along the timber, and all of a sudden I hear crashing. So my heart starts racing. I know something's going to pop out. There's still about 5 to 10 minutes left of shooting light. Crouch on a knee, a doe pops out. At first I couldn't tell what it was because it was in some trees and shrubs. Pops out in front of me, snorts and wheezes at me, bounces off into the field. So I crouch down on a knee because I know it's going to be the last opportunity and see if she comes back and circles around. About that time, some more rustling happens in the trees. I stay on my knee, out comes a deer, it turns and looks at me, and it's a nice mature buck. So now I'm caught in between, what do? I got to go to St. Louis. It's the last hunt. Is it a nice mature deer? He turns and looks at me, and instantly it's one I've had on camera before, and I know it's a shooter. So I get ready. He's about 50 yards looking right at me. He actually starts walking closer, and at this point I'm in the grass, so he doesn't really know what I am. So I pull back, and I'm waiting for him if he's going to turn broadside. He never does. He actually just keeps getting closer and closer, and finally stops about 20 yards. And he's just dead on looking at me. In my mind, it's probably not the best shot I would have, but it's still, I can get a clean, ethical shot on it when he's looking right at me. So I put it right under his throat, right on the center of his chest, and let the arrow fly. I heard it whack. He spun around, took off, kind of angled towards the trees, and then cut back out into the field. And there's a little bit of a dip, and it looked like he was going down, but I couldn't tell for sure because I kind of lost sight of him a little bit. Didn't run far, but I just couldn't see him drop, so I wasn't for sure and definite. I went over where I shot him, found a couple specks of blood, but they might not have been. It was hard to tell between what the leaves and the color and the blood was. So I decided I was just going to pull out. I was going to go back home, regroup, call my brother, and see if he could come out and help me. So headed back to the shed there. My brother wasn't available, so I went ahead and I called John Boswell, one of my good buddies from in town. And he said he could be out in about 30 minutes. We'd let it sit for a little while and then head back out in a little bit. So that's what we did. We'll have some recovery footage coming up here, so stick with us and see what happens.
So, Tanner, how do you feel about your shot?
Feel pretty confident about it.
Feel pretty good?
The mustache makes it feel even better.
The mustache? Okay. Tanner hit a big buck. We're gonna go look for him. Tanner feels pretty good.
Getting dark out, but I think a pretty good solid shot right, and he was actually looking right at me. Never shot a deer head on, but it looked like he was getting a little wobbly, getting ready to head down out in the field. So fingers crossed, we'll see what happens.
All right, let's go. All right, so here we are. We're back. I'm out here trying to look for blood. Tanner was over here, kind of
Somewhere right in there. He came right around the corner, right where the scrape's at, and this is where I let her fly. Looked like he was going down, but till we get him some blood here.
Well, good thing, luckily you saw where he ran off, so that should help. That's the thing, learning about deer, boy, you don't always find the blood right away. Still on some grass here, going along a cornfield.
Let's go check where I saw him in the cornfield. The corn stalks right there.
Okay. You got blood? Alright. How's the blood look?
Looks dark.
Yeah, and you said you shot him straight on.
Straight on.
Man, ain't that something?
There's a lot of blood out here.
Oh yeah.
Looks like he was spraying a little bit out the front. Keep going here.
Alright, Tanner. Blood. Oh. Whoosh. Look at that guy. Oh boy. Oh boy, Tanner. Oh man. This is looking good. This is looking good. It's like, looks like he took a big turn right there, tried to. Oh man. Look how high up this is. Man, so he would have just probably ran right over that. Oh, wow.
Big divot, there's blood spraying everywhere.
Yeez. Holy crap. It's like a fire hose. Where's he at? We got good blood. Oh, yeah, man, this thing, there was snow on the ground. Oh boy, look at that. Look at that. Oh wow. Oh.
Yep.
Oh.
Hey, there he is.
Oh. Oh, look at that freaking antler sticking out. Oh. Oh, look at that neck. Oh. Oh.
Just an
Oh man.
big old white 8-point. Look at him. Where'd I hit him?
Oh, right at the base of the neck.
He's probably like a 20-inch spread. That's what it's all about right there.
Oh, right before a big old storm. Oh.
Right behind the doe popped out. He popped out about 15 yards behind her, and that's it.
Look at him. He's a freaking toad.
Nice shot from behind.
Oh.
Well,
Oh.
let's get the truck over here.
All right.
Get him loaded up, and we'll head back and get him field dressed.
All right. Congratulations, Tanner. Woo!
Well, here we are. Finally got the finished product. I got my European mount done that I did myself. Turned out pretty well. So deer's got a little bit of a characteristic to it. It's just a nice even 8-pointer, not a monster. I think he scored just over 140. But he's kind of unique. He's got a perfect angle, a 90-degree angle here on the left side, and it just kind of swoops out here on the right. So definitely a little different, but still just a nice even mature deer. Josh and I, we had quite an action-packed season this year. We saw a lot of does, passed on a lot of bucks. Just still probably a little too young on the edge, 3.5-year-olds. Looking back, probably should have took that first 8-pointer that we saw the first 30 minutes, the first day in the stand during early November. But it was the first day of the week that we had for hunting. and it was hard to pull the trigger on the first deer you saw. But that's all right. I'm still happy to get a tag around this deer. Still a nice mature one, like I said. We actually have some action planned for this summer. Hopefully we'll get out in the kayaks, do a little fishing, maybe go up to Canada for a week, just get some northern pike and walleye fishing, get some different adventures in there. So we have about 8 months till we kick off the 2019 bow hunting season. We're looking forward to it. We can't wait to bring you some more action next season.